Hello and welcome to Word from the Street, another Word from the Street, and me, David Ford from Expert Link. I'm going to start off with a metaphor. So during the early 1940s, World War II was raging, and over in America, probably like the same a lot around the world, over in America there was food shortages. And what the American government decided to do is they wanted to encourage housewives and families to start using offal as part of their weekly diet. For those of you who don't know what offal is, that's the innards of an animal. So it's the heart and the liver and the kidneys and the stomach. And there's probably some more bits in there as well. I'm not quite sure. But they wanted to encourage them households to use it. So what they did is they called in this incredible psychologist, a guy called Kurt Lewin, and said to him, go out and find the best way to do it. So he set up a couple of groups and he went along to the first group and he lectured them on why they must use offal in their, all the good reasons, you know, I guess they were good for the cause, why they must use offal in their weekly diet. He then went along to the second group and invited people to come up with recipes for using offal in their weekly diets and stuff. You know, really got everyone working together on it, and people designing their own sort of food and things. A bit later on, they went back to see what the outcomes were, and what they found was, in group one, only 2% had started using offal in their weekly diet. And yet in the second group, where they'd invited people to come up with recipes, 37% had started using offal as part of their weekly diet. You know, I think that's an incredible metaphor that shows that in really challenging times, with the limited, I mean really limited resources, that when you get people designing stuff for themselves, the results are fantastic. You know, with COVID-19 going on at the moment, this has been likened to the challenges of World War II. And we're in a similar sort of situation. Do you know, over the last few months, what we have managed to do, really positive, is to get up to 15,000 people out off the streets and into emergency accommodation, the hotels and B&Bs and the like. But that is now starting to end. Last week they started moving people, decanting the hotels, so moving people on. And over the next few weeks, that's going to continue. Probably till mid-July, when they'll have probably moved everyone out. The expectation is that the people in the hotels are going to take up the single service offer that they're being told that they can have and not go back to the streets. But actually, with a lot of these guys, a lot of these people, it isn't just about, it goes beyond four walls, those with complex needs, way beyond it. Often it's rooted in some sort of childhood trauma. And yet they're just being told what they can and must have. You know, I don't know about you, but I value having my voice heard. I value having choice, and I absolutely have hopes and aspirations. And think about it for a minute. Wouldn't you want to have your voice heard at a really important time of your life? And actually, would you not want choice in something as fundamental as a home? And I'm sure that you have hopes and aspirations. Well, actually, those in the emergency accommodation with multiple disadvantages, who have had really challenging times, they're no different from you and me. They want to have their voices heard. They want to have choice. And absolutely, they have hopes and aspirations. My fear is because we're lecturing people and not asking people to come up with their own plans, even with really limited resources, what a lot of people will do will revert back to rough sleeping. You know, that rough sleeping wasn't a choice. We found from our research that for no one it was a choice. A lifestyle choice. What we found was it was what people thought was the best choice that they had at that moment in time. So we know that listening to people and working with people to design their own pathways and journeys that support their hopes and aspirations, even with limited resources, will get better results. So we have one ask of national government. And that is they make it mandatory for local authorities and services to work with people and not lecture people on their move-ons out of the hotels. It's a simple ask. But you know what? It could save a lot of lives. So do you think I'm wrong? Would you want to have your voice heard? Do you believe that you should have choice? And do you have hopes and aspirations? If you don't, let me know. If you don't think that people who have been sleeping on the streets, rough sleepers, those with complex needs, often with childhood trauma as a start point for life, if you don't think that they should have voice and choice, let me know. If you don't think they have aspirations, let me know. I'll point you to a link to Lana and Claire's story, which will tell you otherwise. But please let me know what your thoughts are here in the comments below. And like and share the video, and let's share get the conversation going. And hopefully the more of us to talk about it, maybe, just maybe, the government will insist that local authorities and services work with people and not lecture people. Until next time, guys, stay safe.